Hey everyone, it's Callie here. I am out for a night walk with one of my dogs. Meet Icarus. I like to call him the mongrel. My pit bull didn't want to come. He's too lazy. Plus, it's too late. He was ready for bed. So I thought I would just bring Mr. Icarus out and talk about the ego. Now, I say the ego because people like to personalize the ego. They like to say, my ego, which when, they attach themselves to the ego, it has more control over them. So when talking about the ego, I like to say the ego because it is the same exact energy flowing through all of us. People like to individualize it, and that is how it ends up getting, more control. So let's just talk for a minute about the ego, where it came from, how it developed, why we hear it. And it all starts way back when. Survival, the ego, okay, is what is known as the medulla oblongata, okay? Also known as our survival instincts, also known as the fear construct of the brain, whatever you really want to call it. It's all the same thing. We have had it flowing through us for generations upon generations of ancestors. And, it's always been about the same thing, basic survival. That's why they say it's our nature. It's the greedy part of us. It's the lustful part of us. It's the slothful, the vengeful, It's that part of us that is almost like animals, but more primal. It's the most primal part of us, like reptiles. They also call it the reptilian complex. So if you notice, reptiles, they don't care for their young, really. They just kind of have the young and then they go off. Some actually eat the young. Not a lot of reptiles, take care and they raise their young. Not a lot of them do that. So that is one construct of the brain we have, okay? Yes, we share with reptiles, and it has been with us for centuries. And so the ego, like I said, people like to individualize the ego, but it is actually the same thing. We all hear it. It has pretty much a basis of the same thoughts for all of us. I like to say it's the real messed up part of us. All those thoughts that come in and we're like, whoa, where'd that come from? And sometimes we hear those thoughts and we think it's us talking, and so we get really confused and we're like, man, why would I think something so messed up? And we feel guilty, and as soon as we start feeling guilty or ashamed, it actually gives the ego power over us. So understanding the ego is really important. So I just had this thought, rather than just talking about the ego, let's talk about the three main constructs real quick. You have the reptilian complex, known as, your survival instincts. You have the limbic system, right? And the limbic system it's like our core values. Our core fundamental values that we learned as children, okay? And it's also known as our mammalian center. So, for those of you who don't know, mammals are more compassionate. They raise their young. It's the loving part of us, right? We have the fear part of us and we have the loving part of us. Now, some species, like elephants and dolphins, they have a neocortex like us. We are a more evolved species, and we have a neocortex. And what the neocortex does is logic and reasoning, right? So it's the part of us that can think in the past, present, and future. It's the part that can look at a situation and understand on a logical level what's happening. Whereas if we were just having, you know, if we were just basic construct animals like dogs, we would just have our survival instincts and our compassion, because, you know, a lot of mammals are really loving, but they're also very primal because they don't have the logic to discern, you know, they can't decide, well, now's the moment where I should be primal. So a lot of people like to demonize the ego, but the ego is very helpful for survival, except we don't need it the same way that we used to. And a lot of the time the TV and the music kind of takes advantage of that part of us, and it gets it all pumped up, and so we end up in an ego-driven state, not thinking logically, and we don't even realize it. So the ego and the heart, so the fear and the heart, in order for us to have true logic, in my experience, we need both of these centers to be working equally, right? You have to be able to discern, okay, this is an alligator. Should I go cuddle the alligator because it's cute? No, because it will eat me. Or, okay, this is a lost little puppy. Should I pick the puppy up and maybe take it home and nurse it back to health? Well, yeah, you can do that because it's a puppy and it will grow to love you. So having the logic to discern when to use fear and when to use your heart is really important, and to understand the difference, you know? So a little thing I like to ask myself, you know, who's talking in my head? Is this my fear? And it's not even my fear. It's very easy to individualize it because we like to attach ourselves to things. That's human nature. That's a thing we do on this journey. We like to attach ourselves to emotions. We like to attach ourselves to thoughts that aren't actually even ours. You know, it's like, who's talking in my head? Half the time we don't even know. And we think it's us, but it could be our fear. It could be the heart. It could be the logic. Or some people actually hear thoughts of other people. I know that may sound far-fetched to a lot of you, but it's not. And so that's why they say know thyself, because if you know yourself, you know who's talking in your head. You know what thoughts are yours, coming from your true essence, and what thoughts are coming from the outside external influence, right? So yes, it's very important to know all of this, because a lot of us think we're so messed up, but we're not actually that messed up. We're just really confused on who we are, what we are, how we're built, why we're built that way. And you know, it causes a lot of commotion and emotions too. I'm going to make another video getting into emotions and exactly, you know, like what emotions are, because in the United States, people do not understand how to process basic emotion, and it really destroys their lives, leaves them depressed, anxious, stressed out, everything, you know. It's super sad. So we're going to learn exactly what emotions are, and I'll be doing videos on how to process them, understand them, not individualize and attach ourselves to them. So yeah, I just wanted to do this short video talking about the ego for a moment, you know, just a little what's up on it. So if you guys been liking the videos, I hope you comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.